Yes, blessed love to each and everyone. Give thanks for your presence with us. Of course, we glorify the life giver and the keeper of life, Emperor Haile Selassie the First. You definitely stepped into the tiger's nest, the Honorable Priest Isaac here with you. And as always, it is a joy, when we could sup together, when we could definitely, go on to the next level. This is really a next level we're going on, for this one here. And in the shock of the hour this evening, we will be addressing this subject area. And let me just say quickly, for those who really do not comprehend properly, the shock of the hour program is a totally separate program from the YouTube. The shock of the hour program is our recorded radio program that we do basically every evening, at least within the weekday sphere, from Monday to Thursday. And those who are subscribers to the shock of the hour, they receive it in their inbox. We email it to them every evening, or at least by the next day early after the shock of the hour program has been recorded. So the shock of the hour every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the shock of the hour is broadcasted. It is recorded as well. And for those who are part of the monthly subscription or half yearly or yearly subscription, you are definitely sure to receive your shock of the hour in your inbox, in your email. Now, this is somewhat of a shock of the hour for real. Charlize Theron, I hope I'm pronouncing it correct, and even if I'm not, well, that's how you go. Talks raising transgender daughter Jackson, and she says it's all pretty new. See it there, and it's coming from radar.com. And speaking of this lady here, radaronline.com, she is supposedly an actress, and here's maybe a next better look at it. That's her with her I would expect her adopted son, that she is dressing up like a little girl, and the whole world is referring to the little boy as a she. I don't know. I mean, is this a law? Is this written in the United Nations that any person that decides that they want to act out of their gender, that it has become a law that you must refer to them in the pronoun that they choose? No, I'm very serious. That's so disgusting. But anyway, let me just read this here quickly. Trust me, you need to listen to the shock of the hour if you really want to get what I'm saying on this, because trust me, you know how it is with the YouTube. I know a lot of you will be cheering me on and say, oh yeah, priest, go on in, burn some fire on them, don't be afraid, don't get soft. Yeah, I know. And when they take down the video and they send me a mail and say, well, we're gonna block you off for 3 months because you've been given a lot of hate mails. It looks like you don't like LGBTQHGY people, and then all you are going to say is, oh, my priest, we're so sorry. Don't give up. It's all right. You know what I mean? Chin up. That's all you're going to say. You ain't going to do nothing. A lot of you just talk. You know we're close to the battlefield, but yet still you like to instigate and encourage. Yeah, man, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm behind you. And when you look behind you, there's nobody there. Yeah, trust me. I know exactly what I'm talking about. This ain't no game. But anyway, as I said, subscribe to the Shock of the Hour, priestisaac27@gmail.com. If you do it quick enough, you'll definitely get the full program for tonight. In fact, even if you don't subscribe right away, and you subscribe a week after this has been aired, or a year after, and you say, priest, that program you did on Charlize Theron, if that's the right pronunciation, and her little son that she adopted, that she's trying to make a little girl, please send me that program with the programs you're going to send, and I'll send it to you. It says here, Charlize Theron has been a supporter of LGBTQ. I think an I is supposed to be somewhere in between there. Rights since she can remember. And now she's working to bring freedom, hear them foolishness, freedom and fairness into her family while raising her transgender daughter. This is a little boy, ain't no daughter. It's no daughter and it's not a she. And anybody out there that was born with a penis by itself, and anybody out there that was born with a vagina by itself. No mix-up business now. Let's talk about those who were born one way. That's what you are. Some of you, you have not even taken the operation, and you still want to classify yourself as what you're not. And even if you took an operation, that doesn't change a thing. Not because you chop it off, man. Not because you stick a hot dog where it's not supposed to be. That doesn't change the gender. Gender is not just what you see on the outside, man. Gender is not beard and breasts alone, man. Gender has a lot to do with your internal organs. You understand? Yes, your injections and your pills know how to manipulate the hormones. But let's not try to go too far with this. To me, it is psychologically mind-bending to the whole society. When we're going to look on a boy, because he puts on a ballerina dress, that I am supposed to now refer to him as a her, because he shine off his head and put in some big earring, or some purple wig on his head, I'm supposed to say, well, that's a she now. And you want me to follow that? In an interview with Pride Source, Pride, and bombshell actress, these are the people that she did the interview with, 44, sorry. And in an interview with Pride Source, the bombshell actress, 44, that's how old she is, admitted she was raised by a mom who was extremely open-minded about sexuality. Because of that, the actress was able to explore her own options. This is her. I experimented, and I did what I think every young person should do. Feel brave enough and free enough in order to figure it out, she said. I had this person that I could share it with, that I felt safe with, who wasn't going to judge me or label me. But it turns out, that I am straight. It's a little bit of a bummer, and I'm sure everybody giggles when she says this. The Oscar winner, said that while her children are still a bit young to have full conversation about sexual preferences, they very much understand gender and are already choosing their own paths. How cute. They're a little too young, but we definitely have these conversations whenever they say, listen, I'm going to get married. And I'm always like, what is it gonna be? Question. A boy or a girl? What is it gonna be? I love that my kids just know that that's a normal question to ask. Theron said. One of my daughters, 4 years old, August, is convinced that she's going to be married 5 times. And you don't see nothing wrong with that. Where was I? Convinced she's going to be married 5 times. And it's going to be 3 boys and 2 girls. And I just love that she has the freedom to think that way. God knows what is going to be. But God, you put in this, knows what is going to be. But I love that she feels safe enough to explore in her. You sure she's a her? Why are you calling her her? Suppose tomorrow she decides to get a fade and and put on some baggy jeans, and you sure it's a her? Let's be careful now, Miss Theron. You gotta give the kids a chance to figure out what they want to be. What you say? But I love that she feels safe enough to explore in her little girl brain that everything is possible, or anything is possible, and that she's going to go and discover that for herself. Then she says here now, the RadarOnline.com readers know Theron found out daughter Jackson 7 was transgender when the little girl told her, "I'm not a boy," at the age of 3. When asked if having a transgender child influences her decision when it comes to taking on LGBTQ characters in film, Theron said, "Well, this is all pretty new for us, so it hasn't really kind of come into question. I don't really necessarily know if it will." Let me just read a little more. "My daughter's story is really her story. And one day, if she chooses, she will tell her, man, this is a little boy she's talking about, what she will tell her story." You understand? But as I said, we're going to take time, our own time, and go into this in the shock of the hour this evening. And, I really personally, I consider this a college, a university. And this is a part of the teaching process. This is not necessarily my favorite subject, not because, I may have this little smirk on my face and everything, man. In fact, I gotta keep it like this. Because if I don't, within 3 hours, this video would be gone. Trust me. So, as I said, we will be continuing this discussion, on the shock of the hour. If you're going to call it a discussion, it's going to be more like a mayhem, a slaughter. I would advise anybody that believes in this foolishness not to step into the room, because we'll take you out right away, How you going to take, and if you, I showed you the picture already, I showed you the picture. I really don't know the actress. I don't know her. I wonder if I could expand this picture. I really don't know the lady, Miss Charlize. And she said her husband or whoever so I guess she has somebody there with her. The child, I'm looking at the child is obviously a black child, and this Miss, whatever her name is a white actor. You see it there. And, of course, the white people of this complexion can bring out a dark child like that. Obviously, if the father is dark like the child or even darker, it does happen, but I don't know her. I never seen none of her movie, or maybe I did and I'm not aware of it. But the point I'm making here, more than likely, this is one of the adoption cases. We have done programs directly dealing with this thing about adoption, with white people adopting young black people. We've covered that several times. That's like a mantra for us, to be honest. So I could always fit this into it as well, talking about when the baby was 3. And the baby was 3, he told her that he's not a boy. And now she's 7. And somewhere between 3 and 7, Miss Theron decided that, well, he has decided to become a she, and she now has the right to choose her own destiny. And I'm not really dabbling in the woman business, Miss Theron. You check it, because that little boy that she has pretending to be a girl is my brother. So that's my business. That's my brother. I don't just see things and turn the other way. That's my brother. Miss Theron, I couldn't care less, but that's my brother that she's trying to mess up. And I don't know the rest of her children. I don't know if one is a Chinese or I don't know. I have no idea. But what I'm saying is this. This is a pretty mixed up and sick world. That you could take a little boy and just put a dress, my little princess, and just put a dress on him, and because of that, he just automatically becomes a her. You don't know how much I hate them things there. Talk about sick and disgusting, and what's worse, we just go along with this, man. The more I look at these things, especially us that say we are conscious, as I mentioned, I think it's a few nights ago on the Shock of the Hour, I was watching some fellas that I considered to be conscious people telling the next so-called conscious person that he should be ashamed that he didn't go amongst his family for Thanksgiving dinner. I said, what? What do you mean the man should be ashamed? The man mean he is not partaking in no Thanksgiving dinner. You know what I mean? when you run through the internet, you see so much of, especially races, with the little Santa Claus attire and all them kind of things. I don't know if it's to impress their family or whoever it is they're with, because fellas do some strange things to impress people. You're gonna dress up in Santa Claus clothes and have a little baby on your lap in his Santa Claus attire? As a ras, this is why we do these little programs here. To show you what's going on psychologically. And I mean, to be honest, Santa is real bad, but this one here, when you take a little boy and just turn it into a girl, putting on, look like this. This looks like school uniform, you know, man. Flip phone. School uniform. So that means the school as well is a culprit in this foolishness. Because, I mean, you got to state your gender. So what you trying to tell me? You could have a child. Your little son is going to school. And he is in class with the next little boy with braids in his hair and has on a dress. And maybe the teachers know, but everybody else is, she is really a boy. So suppose your young son now, you know what I mean, gets his first crush. And his first crush that he think is with Lolita is with Leroy. How, I mean, what kind of stain is that gonna leave on his brain when he grows up? When somebody asks him, hey, can you remember your first crush? And then he has to say, yeah, boy, you know, my first crush was actually a boy. Can you imagine that? But that's where we're going. That's where we're headed to. Because that's the sort of society that we live in. But anyway, let me just tell you, you know, if you want to subscribe to the Shock of the Hour, okay, this is foolishness. This thing here, I'm telling you, man, I gotta stop this now. I can't go no more. I cannot. If I say anything else, believe me, trust me. Remember, I don't have 3 warnings from them YouTube people, you know. And I don't know what happened, but they take down some videos after they gave me the 3 warnings, and they never did anything. They just took them down. Or when you put things on Facebook, then people just drag that down. They don't want to hear nothing about gay fellas, let's be men, anything that again, and the bullying agenda that they're on. They don't want to hear none of them kind of things there. Yeah. Can you imagine that? That's to show how evil it is. You watch YouTube, you see fellas cursing, all kind of smutty language. You go on the footbook, you see all kind of naked women exposing. I don't mean no strange pictures, no. Some of you that say you're friends on Facebook. What kind of friends you be, man? I don't want to see that. Leave that for when you go in and come out of the shower. But nobody pulling them pictures there down. But you just get up and say, you know what I mean, that a little boy should be a little boy and not a little girl, even if he thinks he is. And who is it that taught him that he is that? And what's he watching on TV? What is the puppets telling him? Because I mean, if you grow your child up on SpongeBob, don't be shocked when they reach 3 as a young boy, a young prince, to tell you he wanted to be a ballerina. And not just a ballerina, but a ballerina princess. Yeah. So you just email us presizeac27@gmail.com, and definitely you could become a member of our subscription team. To join the Shock of the Hour subscription team. Of course, remember we have monthly subscriptions. You got a 6-month subscription, and you have the yearly subscription. And in each fashion, you definitely would save. Yeah, man. The Bible said that the donkey talk, eh? Give thanks, Holy Manuel eyes. Jah Rastafari.